What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another theory. This week we have the very famous, very heavily requested theory of Pearl Harbor. Now, if you're not familiar with this theory, the theory goes that basically the United States and along with Britain were very fully aware that this attack was coming, yet they let it happen anyway. And in fact, and they even some ways may have even coaxed this into happening just so they could have a way to have the American people want to be at war, because before this happened there was really, they had seen World War I, they had seen all the losses and all that stuff, and they had just been tired of it. They didn't want anything to do with it. There was many politicians out there that wanted nothing to do with this war, saying it was Europe's problem, let them solve it, don't get into this problem. Hitler's Germany is Europe's problem, and Japan is not our problem as well. And they didn't want to get into it, so they were allegedly looking for a way to quote-unquote get into the back door of this war. And there's a lot of weird tendencies, and there's a lot of things out there, and I'm gonna cite some of these things. This might be kind of a short video. There's not enough time to go into all these details, and maybe I'll make another video later about some more in depth. I want to give you a quick overview of it, just this on this video. I don't want to go too terribly in depth because it can go on for like days and days and days, and you can write a 25-page paper on this in no time. But basically, there's assertions that the Japanese codes had been broken in early 1940, 1941. Basically, there were two different codes. One was codenamed Purple, one was codenamed JN25, and they were Japanese naval intelligence codes that were sent via Morse code or some kind of radio frequency, and they were being intercepted by the naval intelligence of the United States, and apparently these codes had been cracked in early 1940, 1941, way before this attack had happened. And by this means, they should have known that this was coming. And there's a whole bunch more. I mean, there's no really proof that they had these codes cracked or that anything was sent over these codes, but it has been rumored, and a lot of people have come out and stated that they themselves been seeing these codes being cracked and stuff like that. Also, there was detection of Japanese transmissions. There was a cruise liner, and I forget what the name of it was, but there was a cruise liner that was leaving San Francisco, heading towards, I don't know, some kind of tropical destination out that way in the west. They had allegedly been picking up Japanese transmissions for at least 3 to 4 days before the attacks. I mean, obviously they didn't know what was going on in these radio transmissions. They didn't speak Japanese, but they could have, alerted someone that these Japanese transmissions were going on. There's also what is called the Mccullen Memo. Basically, who Mccullen was, he was a lieutenant commander of naval intelligence at the time, and he submitted this memo to some other higher ups and Navy captains and stuff like that. And in this memo, there's 8 detailed actions that quote unquote might have effect in provoking Japan into attacking the United States. There's a one quote in it which everyone kind of sees as the smoking gun, and I also want to throw in that this document was classified up until 1994, so many years after this attack happened, it was still classified. It's been a while since it's been declassified now. It's been 20 years, but, it took them, 60 years to do this. Anyway, the smoking gun says, quote, if by these means Japan could be led to commit an attack on the United States, which is an overt act of war, so much the better. And that is a direct quote from the memo, and that is written from some very higher ups in the naval intelligence, and it's kind of a smoking gun. I mean, there's other things I want to talk about real quick, just to touch on, but that is pretty much the biggest piece of evidence. Now, another thing I want to talk about, which I was alluding to just a second ago, is the lack of U.S. carriers in Pearl Harbor at the time. Now, at the time, the battleship was kind of being phased out of being the capital ships in the United States Navy, especially some of the older battleships, the Arizona, the Nevada, the ones that got sunk at Pearl Harbor were aging World War I battleships. They had been made in the early 1900s. Yes, they were huge. Yes, they were powerful, and they had huge guns. They had all kinds of stuff that was great, whatever. But the United States kind of was leaning towards this aircraft carrier being the ship of the future. Of course, they were correct. That is, the naval capital ship of all modern day navies is obviously an aircraft carrier. But at the time of the attack, all 3 Pacific Fleet carriers were gone. There was supposed to be even 2 of them, which was the Enterprise and Lexington. They were on missions to Wake Island and Midway Islands to deliver I believe, aircraft, B-17s, bound for the Philippines, which was kind of a preemptive thing. They might have known they needed B-17s in the Philippines. Anyway, and the Enterprise, which is the other one, was supposed to be there, was even supposed to be back. It was scheduled to be back December 6th, but was delayed. And then he was supposed to be back December 7th at 7 p.m. It was supposed to be, or 7 a.m., excuse me, which is like an hour before the attack. I could be wrong. It was scheduled to be back that morning of the attack, and again was suspiciously delayed. They gave weather reasons as why, but do you really buy that? I mean, it was really sunny out that day, and it's not that long of a trip between the coastal United States and Hawaii. So I don't know. I'm just saying it was supposed to be there. It wasn't. And that's just one thing I wanted to touch on. Another thing I wanted to touch on, again, I just wanted to go back into how Roosevelt, the president at the time, really wanted to go to war with Germany, but there was really no good way of doing it without being attacked first. I mean, they couldn't just declare war on somebody that had not really done that much to the United States. They had been kind of, threatening, and they've been kind of, I guess you could say, shit talking from the sidelines of in a whole lot of things. But they really backed Japan into a corner and forced them to attack the United States. They did all kinds of things. They took away oil from them. They took away iron and steel from them. They put embargoes on them, and it was putting a lot of pressure on Japan to attack the United States. It seems like they threatened them that they didn't get out of China. They were going to take, they were going to supply the Chinese army with arms, ships, tanks, all that kind of stuff. They were really putting pressure on Japan to, make a move. And this is what ended up happening. And it kind of leans towards them maybe knowing it. I don't want to, say anything as fact, because again, this is all theory. This is all opinion. This is all theory. Like I said, I want to make you think this is fact, and I want you guys to think that I'm the end all be all on history, knowledge of naval history. I don't want to be claiming anything like that. I just wanted to make this video to make you guys aware that there are some kind of weird things out there. Some maybe kind of could be conspiracies out there about World War II and about this incident in particular. So basically that's all I have for you guys. I know I didn't go into depth a whole ton. I know I could have gone on forever and ever and ever about each individual detail, because there's so many of these guys. And let me know if you guys want to see that. Maybe I'll go into more detail about some of the naval intelligence, about some of the codes that were supposedly cracked. I can go into further detail. I just don't want to make this video too lengthy. It's already at 7.5 minutes. I didn't want to go on to a 20-minute video with you guys. I didn't want to have this turn into like a college lecture, I guess you could say. But I could do that if you guys want to. So let me know down in the comments if you guys would like to see that. Also in the comments, let me know what you guys thought about this theory. Do you guys agree? Do you think it's a possibility? Or do you think it's just complete bullshit garbage that they would never do that? It's really up in the air. And either way, I would love to hear you guys' opinion on it. But that is basically all I have for this time, guys. Make sure you guys drop a like. If we hit to 500 likes before the end of the weekend, I'll put out next week's theory a day early. And I will go ahead and tell you what the next week's theory is right now. So it is actually going to be the Kurt Cobain suicide versus murder conspiracy theory. So if you guys want to see that a day early, make sure you guys drop a like. And as always, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel to get all these cartoon conspiracy theories, these real life theories, along with my other series that are going on right now on my channel. Make sure you get them in your sub box daily. And as always, guys, have a great day and game the fuck on. And I wanted to say this before the end of the video. God bless all people that were caught in this attack. It was a terrible tragedy. I don't want to offend anybody that may have been affected by this. All the servicemen and women around the world that are serving our country, thank you for your service. And as always, guys, have a great day. Like I said, game the fuck on. Peace out.